Saludos y bienvenidos a otra edición más de Contralona TV. Mi nombre es Joel Torres, muchas gracias por tu sintonía. Oye, como todos los jueves, aquí a través de Buena TV Puerto Rico, a través de Zona Network, Fury Network HD en la República Dominicana y claro está ContralonaPR en nuestro canal de YouTube. Oye, como lo habíamos prometido la edición anterior de Contralona TV, esta es una edición especial debido a que tuvimos la oportunidad de visitar la ciudad de Houston en Texas, donde allí conocimos al 5 veces campeón mundial de WCW. Bueno, 6 veces incluimos el de WWE. Él es el actual WWE Hall of Famer, Booker T, quien nos abrió las puertas de su proyecto Reality of Wrestling allá en la ciudad de Houston. Oye, Booker T habló para las cámaras de Contralona TV. Estuvo contándonos sobre su carrera, nos estuvo hablando también sobre lo que está haciendo con este proyecto Reality of Wrestling y lo que está haciendo actualmente con WWE. Oye, no solamente los pre-shows, no solamente los kick-off shows de cada evento especial, sino también siendo Hall of Famer. Y claro, esto nos habló sobre la llegada de AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, entre otras superestrellas. ¿Qué nos tuvo que decir Booker T aquí en Contralona PR? Veamos.
Fanáticos de Contralona PR, a mi lado el five-time, shall I say that five-time WCW champion?
Five-time World Heavyweight Champion. Actually, 6-time World Heavyweight Champion.
WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, thanks a lot for being here with us.
Pleasure's mine.
Tell me about this reality of wrestling stuff that you're doing here in Houston.
Man, Reality of Wrestling, this is something that's been in the making for 10 years, actually. My wife and I, we started this back in 05, and we trained a lot of kids, and now those kids have grown up to be young men, and now Reality of Wrestling 10 years later is taking off. And this right here, this is the beginning. This was supposed to be our debut show tonight, but our arena wasn't quite ready yet. We didn't want to come in, half done. We wanted the fans to have that first impression that they were going to remember for a lifetime. So we pushed it back 1 week, but we said we're still going to give our fans, Reality of Wrestling fans, a party that they're going to remember for a lifetime. So we brought in the pizzas, we got the beers, the cervezas, and we're still having a great time and representing Reality of Wrestling. The show will go on next week, and it's going to be just as big and just as crazy. And like I always say, it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones.
How can you compare the Reality of Wrestling school with NXT right now, with what you guys had in WCW a few years ago?
With Reality of Wrestling, I thought about this thing when I started wrestling over 25 years ago. I said I wanted to, get some kids, take them on a journey, create their own stories, not get, bitter about some old guy coming in and saying, man, wrestling did this to me and did. I say, hey, man, we're going to go on a journey. We're going to have a camaraderie. We're going to have a friendship that's going to last for a lifetime here. And the same thing with NXT. You watch those young guys, guys that were unknowns, and now they're becoming household names. The same thing here with Reality of Wrestling. I got Sean Studd, the son of the Big John Studd, the famous, world famous Hall of Famer Big John Studd. I got the Mysterious Q. I got actually a kid that Brennan Williams. He was played with the Texans and he played with the New England Patriots. Yes, the New England Patriots. I mean, right now, Reality of Wrestling is something that's going to be, I wouldn't say bigger than the WWE or anything like that, but we're going to be just as big as the WWE.
And talking about WWE and WCW, what does WCW meant to you for your career?
Oh, man, WCW is my life's blood, man. WCW, I always said I probably would have retired there if WCW wouldn't have gone out of business, you know what I mean? So all of my memories and fun friendships that will never ever leave. Winning my first world championship, winning the television championship, tag teaming with my brother, being going along the ride with Sister Sherry Martell. It was a ride, man, that was unbelievable. It was phenomenal. Those days will never be repeated ever in a lifetime, but that's what life's all about. Life's about evolution. Life's about going to the next stage. Life's about moving in seasons, spring, summer, winter, and fall. And right now, Reality of Wrestling, we're in our fall season, getting ready to take off.
Have you ever thought in your life, in your career, in your professional career, to be in the WWE once?
You know, my thing was I always knew I was going to go to the WWE. I knew that bridge was going to have to be crossed sooner or later. And when WWE bought the company out back in 2001, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, what are you going to do now? Well, I'm going to the WWE and try to create history all over again. I didn't want to go to WWE and say, man, I'm here, from WCW, the guy who won the five-time champion. I said, forget all that. I wanted to go and prove myself that I was worthy enough to be in the locker room with all of those superstars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, The Rock, Triple H, and the list goes on and on. So I went out there and I proved myself, just like these young guys. I make sure nothing is hand down to them. They got to go out there and prove it on their merit alone. That's the only way you make it in this business, on how good you are, how much talent you got. Are you better than the guy that's standing next to you?
That's great. One of your former tag team is here right now. Is RBD.
Yeah.
What was your favorite tag team of all time? Not speaking about your brother, but in WWE, RBD or Goldust?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say one was better. Me and RVD, we're actually great friends for many, many years. And then look at Dustin Rhodes back in WCW. We go back a long way. We've been great friends for many, many years. The father, Dusty Rhodes, was, one of my favorite, as well as Cody Rhodes, the last guy I wrestled in the WWE. So the bond is there from a family perspective. So with RVD, with the Rhodeses, we're like family, man. When RVD and I, we was out there, we were like the high-flying tag team. When Goldust and I were out there, we were like the odd couple. But it was all about going out there in the end and entertaining those fans to the utmost, to the point to where they say, man, I cannot wait to see these two go out there and perform again. That's what the business is about.
Talking about the new people that is coming now to the WWE, former employers with you like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles coming up recently in the Royal Rumble. What do you think about them joining nowadays in WWE?
I think now is a better time than any for a guy like a Samoa Joe, a guy like AJ Styles, because the reason I say that is because these guys have been around the world. They've been on tour in Japan. They've been to Asia. You know what I mean? They've been to Germany, England. They've been all over Spain, out there perfecting their craft. And then you see a guy like Samoa Joe comes in as Samoa Joe, not Samoa Jack. And then you see a guy like AJ Styles come in as AJ Styles, not AJ Steele. You know what I mean? So these guys went out there and they rep their names. They went out there and put themselves in position to come into WWE, keep their names, and still go out there now and make a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I'd say those guys did the right thing going out there and perfecting their craft. And now let's see exactly how far the phenomenal AJ Styles and Samoa Joe is actually going to go.
Also, yeah, WrestleMania 32 is coming up right here in Texas, specifically in Dallas, Texas. You're a WWE Hall of Famer. You got the ring there. Yeah. All right. Sting now is going to be inducted in WWE Hall of Fame. What do you think about that? Sting nowadays being inducted in WWE Hall of Fame.
It's a great thing. It was only poetic justice for Sting to get his just due in the WWE and actually have that, that one big match in front of those, 70,000 people or whatever it was. It was awesome for Sting to have gone through this business and not have to have, gotten a chance to have a taste of that. I always say, I tell all my young wrestlers here, Reality of Wrestling, if you get a chance to go to WWE, go. But it's going to be a bumpy road. It's going to be rough at times. Sometimes you're going to, think, you can't go the next day, but you're going to figure out a way out how to go out there and do it. And then you go out there and you wrestle on that main stage at WrestleMania one time. It's all worth it in the end, you know what I mean? So to see Sting actually going to the Hall of Fame in the WWE, it's great. I'm loving it.
Your feelings now working with the guys in the WWE kickoff shows, in the Raw pre-shows. What do you feel about that, being in that panel of experts?
I love it a lot more. Being on the kickoff panel, it's less time me actually being there having to work, and it gives me a little bit more time to focus on Reality of Wrestling. But I'm in a position now where I know exactly what I'm doing. You know, I can be funny. I can go out there and have my character come out, you know, my shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night. You know, I can analyze the matches, you know, how I see them, opposed to trying to be politically correct when you're out there on the commentary booth for 3 hours or 2 hours, you know what I mean? So now I'm having a whole lot of fun, and I'm doing the kickoff show on the pay-per-view as well. And that's an hour, you know what I mean? And WrestleMania is going to be 2 hours. So I'm just having fun right now, being able to do both, making it to this side, you know what I mean? Enjoying the fruits of the labor. So many of us, you know, have gone through this business that didn't get a chance to come out on the other side and, you know, walk standing straight up and have fun, and got so many young kids look up to them, and being able to give back at the same time. So I'm in the best position I ever could be. If this is paradise, I don't think I ever want to leave.
Great words. Before we end this interview, what do you think about Puerto Rico? You've been there before wrestling. What do you think about it?
Oh man, Puerto Rico is, you know, have a rich heritage as far as professional wrestling goes. You know, so it's one of those things. You know, you've heard the stories. You know what I mean? But for me, when I came up, I heard stories about Puerto Rico. You know, man, you know, you may not want to go to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, you know, man, you know. But I remember my first trip. I went to Puerto Rico, and I was like, wow. This is what I've been missing, you know, the beautiful beaches, you know, the beautiful women, you know, the fans were, you know, so over the top as far as, you know, wanting to see, you know, the sport of professional wrestling. And the thing is, it's one of those things, wrestling will never die. I don't think anywhere in the world, and I think in Puerto Rico, it's going to flourish. I look to bring reality of wrestling to Puerto Rico one day, and maybe, you know, do a collaboration, you know, with one of the promotions there, you know, and see how far we can bring this thing. That's one of the, just a note. That's one of the biggest problems, I think. I think promoters around the world, they do need to network more and bring back the independent, territorial wrestling promotions. And I think if we do that, wrestling can be stronger now, perhaps, than ever.
Before we end this interview, want to send a message to all the fans in Puerto Rico that are watching you right now?
Yeah, man, all the fans in Puerto Rico, first and foremost, I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have given me over the years. Always been a great time for me as far as dealing with the Puerto Rican and the Puerto Rican salsa, you know what I mean? I always say los tamos, let me have it, you know what I mean? But I say, if you get a chance, check out Reality Wrestling. Go to realitywrestling.com. Check out the show. See if it's something that you guys may want to be a part of. The training from a training aspect, from a wrestling aspect, from a commentating standpoint. We do it all here, guys. It's a one-stop shop, reality of wrestling. Get some, want some, but you better be big enough and bad enough to take some, because it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones. And like I always say, now can you dig that, sucker?
Bueno, felicidades a Booker T por todo el éxito que ha cosechado a través de toda su trayectoria luchística, no solamente ahora trabajando en WWE, sino también con su proyecto Reality of Wrestling. Le agradecemos también a él y a todo su staff por abrirnos las puertas de Reality of Wrestling para traerle todo esto a ustedes en Puerto Rico, en exclusiva para Contralona TV. Mi gente, vamos a nuestra primera pausa comercial. No se retiren, que más sorpresas vienen dentro de esta edición, aquí en Contralona TV.
En la joyería y casa de empeño del centro conseguirás todos los regalos que estás buscando. Desde pantallas, relojes, cadenas en oro, pulseras, celulares, laptops, tablets, consolas de juegos, televisores y todo tipo de herramientas para ti trabajador. Y lo más importante, al mejor precio. Tenemos variedad de relojes Rado, Technomarine, pulseras y si necesitas dinero, solo tráenos tu artículo de valor o prenda en oro y te la empeñamos para que puedas resolver con el dinero que necesitas. Ven y visítanos. Estamos en el Abanico en Naranjito, al lado de Chino Caribe. Llámanos al 787-693-3879 o al 215-8705. Joyería y casa de empeño del centro. Te pagamos más por tu oro. Ahora la mejor televisión llega directo a tu celular. Buena TV Puerto Rico, llegando a Puerto Rico y el mundo, directo a tu celular, tablet o computadora. Buena TV Puerto Rico. Búscanos ahora en www.buenatelevisión.net. Buenatelevisión.net, Caguas y área este. Sintonízanos en el 44.1 digital, pronto en cable y satélite. Buena TV Puerto Rico, nuestro canal.
Y regresamos aquí a Contralona TV. Otra persona que tuvimos la oportunidad de conocer ahí en Houston, Texas, lo fue Bruce Prichard, anteriormente conocido como Brother Love. Para los que no tienen conocimiento, Brother Love fue el primer manejador de Undertaker al hacer su debut en Survivor Series en el año 1990. Bruce Prichard también ha trabajado como productor y agente dentro de WWE, entre otras empresas a través de los Estados Unidos. También ha sido árbitro dentro de los cuadriláteros. ¿Qué nos tuvo que decir Bruce Prichard para las cámaras de Contralona TV? Veamos.
Shall I call you Brother Love or Bruce Prichard?
Let's go with Bruce.
Okay, nice to meet you. How you doing?
Great, man. Pleasure.
Tell us about your career in professional wrestling. We all know you as Brother Love, but also as the Bruce Prichard, the backstage guy that works with pro wrestling here in the United States.
Well, you know what? I started right here in Texas. So I started in Houston, Texas when I was 10 years old. Kind of worked my way all the way through the business, selling posters, refereeing, did everything there was to do in the business, and promoted my own shows all around Texas here. And then in 1987, went to the WWE and began my career as a backstage producer, television producer, writing the shows, and also the character of Brother Love was born, and I was born out of love. So,
what can you tell us about Brother Love? What's the thing that you love the most?
Well, you know, Brother Love was kind of based on the old school televangelist. And growing up in the South, and especially here in Texas, you would have these tent shows that would go around, and it would be kind of like a revival. And these charismatic preachers would come in, and they would spend a weekend and get all the money that they could and do whatever they could. And we had a lot of these preachers on TV.
About the wrestling business nowadays?
You know, I'm still a fan. I love the wrestling business. I always have. So I'm 4 years old. I fell in love with it. Haven't fallen out of love with it yet. It's just changed. It continues to evolve. So the athletes of today, I tell you, if the business was then what it is now, I'm not sure that I necessarily would have been able to get into it in a lot of respects. But it's just always been something I've had a passion for, and I love and still do. But the athletes today are some of the greatest athletes I've ever seen in the world, in any sport, anything. So,
what do you think about the wrestling roots in Puerto Rico?
You know, I actually know Carlos Colon, Savio Vega, Victor Quiñones, Hugo Savinovich, a lot of those guys, and I spent a lot of time in Puerto Rico with them. And it's some of the most passionate wrestling fans anywhere in the world. Let me tell you something. They believe it, man. They love it. And they go out, they support their favorites. And those that they don't like, they let them know unlike anything you've ever seen before. Well, you've seen.
Yeah, exactly. They get pretty hot.
Yeah, they get really hot, you know. So it's but I love that, because when you're performing your art and you're out there and we're looking for reaction. We're looking to tap in to what makes you happy and what makes you sad, what makes you angry. And that audience allows you to do your craft, and they let you know whether you're doing a good job or not. And so, yeah, as far as passionate fans and just a hell of a place to be able to go out and perform. Love it. Love the island. Love it.
That's great. That's awesome. To end this interview, want to send a message to all the fans in Puerto Rico that are watching you right now?
You know what? Just, hey, keep watching, because professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever the hell you want to call it, is the single best entertainment you're going to get anywhere, be it football, be it a movie, be it anything. It's a live soap opera, and it allows you to invest in characters, believe, and don't ever stop believing, because it's the best thing going today.
Bueno, una extensa trayectoria desde su niñez, básicamente, la que ha tenido Bruce Prichard en la lucha libre. Lo hemos visto anteriormente también aquí trabajando en Puerto Rico. Así que mucho éxito a Bruce Prichard ahora en su carrera luchística y los planes que tenga futuros para este entretenimiento, espectáculo deportivo. Vamos a nuestra última pausa comercial y nos vamos con la última sorpresa que tiene Contralona TV para ti, así que no te retires porque regresamos con más de Contralona TV.
Escuchas de norte a sur, las que te informan y te entretienen. Radio Hit 1250, primerísima en el norte. Y Prócer 1380, la voz de la montaña. Primeras en música, noticias y deportes. Donde quiera que estés, escúchanos.
Regresamos aquí a la parte final de Contralona TV. Oye, para cerrar con broche de oro este especial, te presentamos a un ex campeón de CW, claro está, una ex estrella de CW. Él es ex campeón mundial de WWE, o sea, desde el título máximo de WWE también. Él es conocido como Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Thursday Night, Mr. Friday Night, The Whole Effing Show. Él es nada más y nada menos que Rob Van Dam, quien también estuvo hablando para nuestras cámaras y nos estuvo contando sobre lo que está haciendo actualmente en su carrera profesional, porque además de la lucha libre está haciendo otras cositas también. También nos estuvo hablando sobre, ¿verdad?, lo que opina sobre este proyecto de Reality of Wrestling que está trabajando Booker T en Texas. Les presentamos aquí a Rob Van Dam.
Most people call me Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam, it's great to have you here in ContralonaPR. What do you think about Booker T's fantasy camp here in Reality of Wrestling?
It's a hell of a thing, man. These guys want a chance to get in the ring, and they get in the ring with not just someone who's been there, someone that's still there. Booker T is a big superstar. He knows how to get to the top. He knows what it takes. He knows how to stay at the top, and that's kind of rare when it comes to wrestling trainers. Usually when you're in the ring getting trained, it's by someone that maybe didn't quite make it and they're bitter and they have their own agenda of trying to somehow validate all the time that they put in. So here they are abusing the students. Not like that here. I mean, obviously you're going to learn from the best, and I didn't see the whole fantasy camp. I'm not sure what all you guys did, but I have no doubt it was productive.
A tip that you can give to all the students that were here in the fantasy camp?
Believe in yourself, and you got to have the love to be the drive, because you're going to question sometimes, should I keep going? Should I give up? Should I put my energy somewhere else? Am I ridiculous thinking I can do this? The only way that you're going to get through it is to have that drive, and that's got to come from your love. You have to love the business that much, and if you do, good luck. Have at it.
Nowadays, what is Rob Van Dam doing in the wrestling business?
So I have an open door with WWE to return for another run when I want to do that. In the meantime, I carry on a merchandise contract with them. That prevents me from going anywhere else. Not that I really want to. I wrestle as little as possible now because I still like to put everything into it, but I also enjoy doing other things. And for so many years of my life, I only had time to wrestle. Now other things. I did 4 movies in the last year. That led to some bigger projects this year. I do some writing. I do stand-up comedy. But when it comes to wrestling, I do very little bookings outside of WWE. I had about 10 matches last year, and these are better for me right now, where I can control all of the factors and be at the top of the show there, RVD. So I will probably go back. Probably, I think so, but there's got to be a reason. And right now, it's better for me to not be there.
Do you miss the ECW days?
We all miss it. I mean, that was the most fun artistically, and after that, it really became about business for me.
To finish this interview, want to send a message to all the fans in Puerto Rico that are watching you right now?
Never been to Puerto Rico. I still got to maybe make it there. I get a call from Carlos Colon every once in a while, and he invites me to come down. And Booker was saying he did like some Fiji Islands or something with Carlos. I'm like, man, I got to call that guy back. It sounds awesome.
All right, we hope to see you there in Puerto Rico. Thanks a lot, RVD. Mi gente, vieron a Rob Van Dam aquí, ¿en dónde más? En ContralonaPR, Conectando la lucha libre contigo.
Bueno, ¿quién diría que a Rob Van Dam lo podríamos ver en alguna ocasión como actor? Como comediante stand-up. O sea, wow. Además de todo su talento luchístico que tiene, sabemos que también es otra persona multifacética en cuanto a talento se refiere. Felicidades a Rob Van Dam. Mucho éxito también en cuanto a su carrera profesional se refiere. ¿Lo veremos alguna vez luchando en Puerto Rico? ¿Por primera vez? Hay que estar pendientes. Bueno, mi gente, no me quiero despedir y cerrar esta edición recordándote que puedes sintonizar más de ContralonaPR a través de nuestro canal en YouTube. Te invitamos a que te suscribas, también que le des like a nuestro fanpage en Facebook. Síguenos también a través de Twitter y Google+. También te recordamos que puedes descargar completamente gratis la aplicación de ContralonaPR si tienes un artefacto Android a través de Google Play Store. También te recordamos que puedes seguir viendo esta edición de Contralona TV toda esta semana a través de Buena TV Puerto Rico, canal 44.1 en Caguas y pueblos limítrofes. También a través de Sonar Network, Fury Network HD todos los sábados a las 8 de la noche, a través de Telecanal 28 en la República Dominicana. Y como siempre, puedes ver esta y todas las ediciones anteriores de Contralona TV y más a través de nuestro canal de ContralonaPR en YouTube. Me despido por este momento. Mi nombre es Joel Torres. Muchas gracias por tu sintonía. Esperamos que haya sido de su agrado esta visita que ContralonaPR tuvo a Houston, Texas. Mi gente, como siempre, los veo la semana que viene y pues claro está, para más información de todo lo que está aconteciendo en la lucha libre profesional en Puerto Rico y en los Estados Unidos e internacional, pendientes aquí a donde más, a ContralonaPR, conectando a la lucha libre contigo.